G'day everyone, I'm Ben and this is Counterfeit Christianity. Really glad to be here today. Feeling happy, thankful. Look down in the description. I have a Discord chat. Jump on if you want to have some conversation. And I've also got a website going. It's a place for us to connect. So this is what my dream is. I feel like this is what we're designed to be. We're designed to be in a relationship. I believe we're designed to be in a relationship. That is the meaning of life. Especially after what I'm going to talk about today, and I have been talking about it for a little bit, but I've been paying attention to the world around me a little bit. Like, I feel like this is the next part of my journey, and I may be totally wrong, but that's okay. But I do know that we're in this world of lies, and everything they tell us is truth is false. Everything they tell us is good is bad. So with that, the only thing that I think matters is to be in relationship, first of all, with our Creator, with our Daddy, and then that same way with each other. So that's the journey I've been on over the last decade. And this website, for me, is a place where I can share that with all of us, people who want to come on that journey together as human beings, be on that journey of relationship with our Creator, listening to Him, being with Him. The same thing with other people around us, listening to each other and being with each other, glad to be with each other no matter what. That is the best definition of joy that I've ever heard. I believe that joy fixes everything. And that is what I want to share. I want to share that journey of joy that I have been on, that other people have helped me along over the last decade. And I truly have never felt so free in my whole life. This is the journey of joy that I've been on. And I really do appreciate you guys. I follow my heart, right? I'm a person who feels things. And I believe that that's the way that we're designed as well. We're designed to have our emotions, feel what's actually happening. And then if we need to, we can free ourselves from those emotions with joy, with getting back to joy. If it's a negative emotion, we can become free from it. And when we're feeling good, it's also a great thing to get back to joy. So we're not always relying on that feeling of happiness, because happiness and joy are different. Joy and fear, they inhabit the same place in our mind. So if we're joyful, we can't be fearful or have anxiety. It doesn't work. Joy displaces all these really negative feelings. And that's the exact same thing. If you have a lot of negativity and fears, it displaces the ability to be joyful. You can't be joyful. So learning how to get back to joy has been a massive part of my life. I want to share that. So that is what the website's for. Jump on there if you would like to join a group conversations, or if you want to have one-on-one chats with me, that's the place for it. But in this video today, it sort of connects with that, right? This world of lies that has been given to us is really, really scary if you're looking at it, because we're all coming to this place. I think all of us who believe in God at a minimum, right? Even Christians, everybody who's like that, even though they're on a different journey, they're on a journey of religiousness, and I believe a journey into hell. When you're in religion and when you're in systems, you're in hell. You don't really have a way of being with our Creator. Absolutely. It doesn't work, because you're into something else. You think something else is God. But everybody who is on this journey in the world, who believes in even just the simple belief in God, we can see that this world is fucked. We saw what happened to us over the last few years. But we have no chance unless we're in relationship with God, because He will flow us into all the good things. The reason we get in trouble is because we fuck ourselves up with the things that we think we should do or shouldn't do, or can do or can't do, whatever they are. The only way to be free is to be free with Him. And so the next step, the next thing that I'm beginning to realize and to understand is that our history is a lie. And I said in the last few videos that I think Jesus was around closer than thousands and thousands of years ago, because that's the way that they control us. They control us by saying we're separated from all these different things in time. So many thousands of years since the beginning of time. And since even Jesus was here, since those times, they separate us through that, and they control our thinking through those things, these vast amounts of times, these vast distances between, the planets and the world and all that sort of stuff, and the globalists and the things that they push. They try and control our minds and our hearts to feel like we've got no chance. So what's the fucking point? They want us to give up. That is the point. And I've read before the verses where it says, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, we're fighting against principalities. But the verses after that, it says we're also fighting against governments. Those parts have been removed from the book. And even that word, government, it's a definition of controlling your mind, your thoughts. That is what it's defined as. That is the two separate words, is to enslave your mind. That's what it means. And so we're controlled as slaves by these people because they tell us what to know, what to think. They tell us what our history is. They tell us that we're shit. They tell us that we're nothing. The only way to be free is to be in relationship with our Creator and in relationship with the people around us. So with that, I've been doing some of my own research. I told you I watched a guy, his name's John Levi. He has a great YouTube channel, and there's other people around on Rumble that you can watch where they talk about the old world. And I did some of my own digging a little bit around some things in Australia. So this next part is that, and the things that I've found. Keep watching and you'll see what I have discovered, or not discovered. I might be totally wrong. All right, this is what I've been actually really interested in lately. I started watching some videos of a guy. His name is John Levi. This is his channel. Really interesting channel. I've just been going down the journey of this, and I've talked about it a bit, but this idea that our history is a lie. So I've been looking into these places. There's a couple of places that popped into my mind because I remembered this stuff that I'd been told about when I was a kid. So this is in Sydney. The Sydney Harbour Bridge would be around here somewhere. And so I looked into it today because I don't believe what we've been told. And if you go look at that guy's channel, it's about the old world and the history that's been hidden from us. So I want to look into this area around where the Sydney Opera House is, because I heard the story of it when I was a kid. I actually heard some stories, and I looked it up today, so I don't know what's right and what's not right, but I heard that these were burnt down, but Fort Macquarie. So this one is really interesting. So this specific piece of land is really interesting to me. So it says here that it was constructed 1817 to 1821, so a few years, just 3 years there, and they decided to knock it down in less than 100. So you can see here on the map that it's like right there where the Sydney Opera House is. And then there's the next, so they decided to demolish this Fort Macquarie here, and then they built the Fort Macquarie tram depot supposedly directly on top of it. And paying attention to these buildings, supposedly the fort was built by convicts. You know how everything in Australia was built by that, but in this specific style that was like they were perfect craftsmen. I just got a few pictures pulled up, so even this picture is interesting to me. This giant Gothic building built by convicts, and down here is the fort built by convicts, and here's some high-def pictures of it. This is just like a quick overview of what I've been looking through. So this is the tram depot that was supposedly built over it. They knocked down the fort and built this over it, and they built it really quickly. When did it say it was? They said they built the tram depot in 1 or 2 years. This building here, they did it in 1 or 2 years. That's the old fort before it. But this building here was supposedly built within 1 or 2 years. Why would they build it in this style? It's so interesting that this style is the style of every old world building throughout all of the world, all over the world. Watch this guy's channel, John Levi. I just wanted to pick on this place because it's so interesting to me. Part of the stuff that I was taught when I was a kid. And I just decided to actually look into it for myself today because I don't believe it. And then, like, these are all the things here. And then look at the foul, disgusting building that they put in the place of it. It's just foul. They have this beautiful, like, medieval style fort, right? What the fuck? Built with giant blocks. Then they supposedly knocked that down and built this next medieval style fort. I got some more pictures up here. So that's the old fort, supposedly Fort Macquarie, and looking up the hill towards the mansion. Another castle, right? Built by convicts, right? And then this is another view inside the fort, looking out. Look at the rocks. Look at the size of these rocks. There's like a few little bricks for one man, and this was supposedly built by convicts. Just randomly, they just felt like it. Built it in 2 years, right? Yeah, look at it. It's perfect building. They did it beautifully. And then this one here is the tram building that they supposedly built in another year or so. Right on top of it, just knock it down and build it, no worries. And then here's a picture of the tram building at the other end. Look at the style that it's built in. Like, it's old world style. This style is how everything's built all over the world. They've just tricked us into thinking that this is this is how they used to do things. They're just perfect masons, perfect builders, built by, like, the population was tiny back in those days. Just really interesting. This is a picture of Newcastle. It's just not far away from Sydney. I spent a lot of time in Newcastle. So interesting, just like the way that this photo looks. It looks like it's been cut out and just whitewashed. It's just a bright white sky. This looks like it's all been cut up. So here's another picture of the fort. Beautiful fort with a fucking piece of shit, like wooden building built on the side. It's just absolute. It's junk. It looks ridiculous to me. But this is just some of the stuff that I've been noticing. This style of building was built all over the world. If you go look at that guy's channel, every single part of the world, and then they just say that they just do it, no worries at all. And then you look into the Sydney Harbour Bridge and how it was built. It took them 14 years. It's right, it's much bigger, but it's fucking foul. They've knocked down these beautiful buildings that I believe were put there by the civilization before us. That's where this idea of Freemasonry comes from. The Freemasons come. We got Freemasons. We get all this free shit from people. The English didn't discover Australia, I don't think. And look at this. This is another interesting picture, right? I find it really interesting. These giant, beautiful castles built by convicts. So this is what supposedly was happening, right? I have to look into this and see how long it took them to build it. But I bet you they'll say a year or so. And so this is where the Opera House is now and where the tram depot was. So it's pretty large. And supposedly the fort was here as well before that. They decided to knock that fort down for this tram depot. It makes a lot of sense. Putting a tram depot right here, right, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but what the fuck do I know? This is when it's all knocked down. And I've looked for construction pictures of the tram depot. I haven't found any. So if anyone can find any of them actually building it, I'd be interested. But I didn't find any of that. So I've just been looking through that today. I wanted to do some of my own video about this stuff. I want to go through some of these places in Australia that they tell us they tell us the history for. They tell us what to know. They tell us what to think. There's another picture of it. They're pulling it apart. You can see they're ripping this to shreds. That's probably what they're saying they're doing as well, pulling it down to replace it with the tram depot. Totally. So it feels weird. It feels like it's not the same place to me. They have these pictures of the fort, but they don't have any pictures of the perspective. So I feel like it might not be the same place, but what the fuck do I know? But and I just found this picture. I thought it was really interesting that this is what Sydney used to look like. And go and watch this guy's channel, John Levi. It's really interesting. This is what buildings all over the world look like. Every single place in the whole of this world, even in Arab countries in the middle of nowhere, fucking shitholes now, burn up, destroyed. Every building, every place looked like this. We didn't build this stuff. This is from a civilization before us that has been hidden from us. We can't build this shit now. If we tried to build this shit now, it would take fucking forever. I'm going to look into these buildings later and I'll do some videos about them. But just talking about the time span that they will have said that these have been built, I'll look into them and I'll make these videos next. They all have this style and they all plaster these disgusting signs on them, trying to sell our retarded shit. But yeah, it's really interesting to me. But yeah, I think the fort, I just remember the fort here, they said that they added things and knocked things down at different times. So maybe this time here that it says here 1817 to 1821, then they'll have other dates where they supposedly knocked one down and then built the next one. You'll find this in everything. I'm going to do more videos about that, but this is what I have found today. I find it really interesting. Anyway, thanks for sticking around through all of that. I really appreciate you. Like always, this is my understanding. I don't know shit, right? I don't know what's happening. I don't know any of this stuff. This is just the stuff that I've been discovering. I believe it's true. Go watch this John Levi's channel. He will show you these things all around the world. This way of building is the same all over the fucking world. We have been lied to. I'm going to keep making some of these videos. I'm going to dig into these places in Australia that I have seen and had experience with. And I want to look at the history that they tell us and what I think. That's pretty much this is pretty much the journey that I'm on, and I'm going to keep doing it with you guys. So thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.